guys, welcome back to Southern Latitudes. I'm Robin and I garden in East Central Florida, and I used to be 9B but now I'm 10A. Been rezoned based on the research in the last 10 years. And if you know Florida real well, I'm in Brevard County, and so that puts me right between the temperate zones and the tropic. So I'm the subtropic, which is great because I can have a little bit of both worlds when I do that. I can have, you know, some stone fruits. I can have some things that northern people have, but I also have some of the things the tropics can have. And one of those things is called the Jaboticaba. That's if you say it the English way. If you say it the Brazilian way, and it is a Brazilian plant, it's Jaboticaba. So I'm saying it really slow because I'm trying to retrain my mouth to say it the right way. But my friend Chris at Permaculture FX was doing a little reel on that, and I was like, oh, I better really watch my enunciation of this word whenever I do the video. And then I kept passing by here today. I got all my onions in on the front garden, and I was like, I would, instead of repeat content where I'm constantly turning over the fall gardens and then putting things in, I wanted to give you something fresh and new today. So anyhow, what I want to share with you is I have two different varieties of Jaboticabas. So I have a Sabara, I hope I'm saying that right, and then I have a red. And this one is about 6 years old. Now I bought it stayed in a pot maybe a year. I put it in the ground year to two, I probably bought it at a year old, had it in a pot a year, and then I probably had it over here by my shed for about 4 years or so. And we had the shed pressure washed a couple of years ago, or a little bit more by now. And what happened was that I told the young man, be very careful. It's a very slow growing tree. It's very expensive now at this point. And it's, at that point, I estimated it'd be $150 to replace the tree at what it would have been worth. So anyhow, I recorded him with permission, and when I look back, he ended up using a chlorine type spray to loosen everything on the sheds before pressure washing. And although we did cover the canopy, I did not cover around the ground around it. So I really regret that. The trees kind of suffered, defoliated, had that burned look. It was really bad. And then the next year we tried to come back again, and it was really not well. And so then I began wondering, I did, try to make it more acidic. I tried everything, gave it different prunes, a rejuvenation prune, a light prune. And then I was like, maybe blaming the sun. Supposedly they could take some sun, but everybody I know in Florida says more like dappled light. So I was like, okay, maybe that's my problem, because it gets morning to afternoon sun. And so anyhow, I decided to move it here around February of this year, which is 2025. And it got very mad and defoliated completely. And I thought, okay, summer's coming. It likes to be wet and have a lot of water. And I thought it'll put on some leaves. Well, it doesn't seem like it really did. In fact, it really didn't. So I was like, okay, I got very nervous by April, and I went to the Brevard Tropical Fruit Tree Club sale, and I picked up a red Jaboticaba. Did I say it right? And this one is completely different. Let me get it for you. So this one here can fruit. The differences between, did I say what this one was? It's a Sabara. I know the emphasis is on the ba. Sabara. I don't know. Somebody correct me down below. This one takes over 7 years, 8 years to mature. This one only takes about 3 or 4 years to mature fully. So This one came along later. I don't know about all the varieties, okay? I'm really still kind of learning a lot of this stuff. I can tell you that both of them really can go to about a 20-foot spread according to AI, but I don't know. I thought this one was going to be smaller. It doesn't matter. If it wants to grow huge, that's fine. This is also a type of subtropical that doesn't really mind having being in a container, excuse me. And so, you know, that's nice too. But it's been hanging out here with the banana trees, and that's fine. But I think I had a key lime that was over here on the other side of the food forest, and I moved it out more to full sun about a month ago, and it's doing okay. And I expect that it will probably be happier and bloom more there. So this might either go in that spot where it's more dappled light in the food forest, or it'll stay here on the corner with the bananas and various other things over here. This is sort of like my almost full shade type of garden. So let me give you a couple stats. So it likes both of them. Well, if this was happy, they like growing in zones 9 through 10. They like a little bit more acidic soil. They do not, it can be sandy and everything, but they don't want to be dry, and they like to be watered with some frequency. So if you're very dry, I don't know how this applies to people like in the Southwest. I would definitely think you want to wrap this with some irrigation around the base. In Florida, we kind of get away with that because we're subtropical, and we have a rainy season and a dry season, and we're right in the middle of rainy season right now. So once we get to winter, my choices, or past October, my choices are going to be either hand water it, put it under drip irrigation, or something of that nature. Okay. So, okay, let's see what else. Okay, so they can grow about supposedly 20 feet high, and a canopy spread of about 20 feet wide. Now, I've not personally seen that, but I don't have all the experience in the world for that. I know that Pete Canaris with Green Dreams sells them over there in the Newport Richey area of Florida, the West Coast by the Gulf. There's a lot of other places, I would think. Nick's Edibles, the Reed Farm, Natural Farm. I would think all of them sell Jaboticabas. So Jaboticabas, if you're saying the American way. So that's, let's see, their statistics. Okay, so their leaf is sort of elongated right here. Now there's some leaf cutter damage on this one, so ignore the little round spots right there. But here's a good set of leaves. They'll come out a little bit bronzy at first, and then they'll turn to green. And then and they have a semi-glossness to it. They're not super glossy, but they're a little bit glossy. Again, I've mentioned they are very, very slow growing. If they're healthy like this one, they will actually have a bit of a peeled bark. Uh-oh, I just knocked off a piece. But they do peel on their bark. Now this one over here used to peel, but it's not peeling anymore because I think it's probably just dead. I'm just gonna leave it there just a little bit longer. There's no reason to pull it out quite yet. Hold on a second. I had done, the squirrels are dropping pine needle bits on me. So a little bit earlier, I did this video, but the file was corrupt, so I'm redoing it again. But while I was doing it the first time, I noticed I had a couple little green spots in here. So I don't know what's going on with it. I guess I'll probably do a little bit more pruning again to see if there's live wood under there, or you can do the scratch test. It doesn't quite look dead all the way, but I can't figure out why. If it's mad, fine, but don't give me a couple little glimpses of life. I don't understand that. So anyhow, while we're here on this one, let me show you. So if this was a fruiting one, if it was alive, the fruit would, first of all, they're beautiful white little very beautiful, delicate white blooms, and they have, I don't know, I don't know. I'll just put a picture up so you can see that. And then it turns to fruit, and the fruit are on the trunk. And then from there, it doesn't take very long. Depending on the variety, they'll either be red all the way to sort of a dark burgundy purple color. And because they look like that, they're also known as the Brazilian grape. So that's pretty cool. And they are sweet with a little bit of sour in them. And although each variety, some people would describe them as a little sweeter than other varieties. So I've heard, I guess there's essentially like two groupings. There's like a red one, and then there's another grouping with more tannins. I'm sorry, this is sort of out of my comfort zone, but from what I understand, the red one, like I have down here, this one is a little bit more in the sweeter category, which is one reason why I picked it up. And the other one is because I'm already sick of waiting for like 6 years for nothing, just a plant to die. So I want to be able to have some fruit here fairly fast with this particular one. So anyhow, you can use the berries. Of course, you can fresh eat them, and you can do wine and jams and jellies as well. Now let's talk cost real quick, okay, on these, because they're not cheap. I was able to, somewhere on here's a tag, I got a 3-gallon red Jaboticaba, and this was $50, but this was also at a fundraising tropical fruit tree club sale. So that's, you know, I was actually happy. I brought money so I could go all the way up to $150. Now they did have, I think they were 10 or 15 gallon ones for about that price, but that's okay. And probably those are ready to start fruiting at that age and size. But this one, you know, I can give it a little time for it to grow. Maybe next year or the year after, it should be ready. I'm hoping I'm doing justice to these trees. I'm sure there's other places on YouTube to get excellent information as well. But I just wanted to show you what's in my yard from my experience and my perspective. So let's see, what else have we not shared about these trees? I believe I mentioned at the beginning of this video that they can go at least 20 feet high. Google says 30 feet high. I don't know if anything like that, but years ago when I was starting the food force, I was just putting in the search engine Melbourne 9B, because that's the zone I was in at the time. And I came across a gentleman, his channel is Fruitopia, but he's in Melbourne, Australia. And he is also zone 9B, what a coincidence. And he has a lot of subtropic and tropical fruit there. And it's pretty cool that he has a very mature, I don't even know how old his tree is. They can go 50 to 100 years according to Google. But his has a canopy at least 15, maybe 20 feet. Height and for sure width. His is very wide, and he cleans out the centers a little bit to make those trunks and larger branches very noticeable. So I thought that was pretty cool. His channel again is Fruitopia, and you'll see a lot of things we grow here in Florida on his channel as well. So if that size kind of bothers you, maybe you're in a smaller situation or you have a container going on, maybe you're in an apartment scenario, but you want to have that like food forest feeling. Perhaps you're in a rental property and you will be moving eventually to your perfect property and dream property, I hope. They will fruit very well in containers, and you can prune them back. So they do very well with pruning. Look at mine. No. So you guys, I just wanted to tell you what was the outcome of this. So far, it's still dead. I mean, once in a while in a garden tour, which I haven't done one in months, but I'll show you that this thing is still not well and not happy. So I'm pretty convinced it's got to be dead. I'll give it one last look, but I'm pretty certain it's dead. And we have its replacement right here now. I couldn't be happier with my red Jaboticaba. Jaboticaba. I couldn't be happier with my Jaboticaba. I love it, actually. I really can't wait to have a little eat off of it. I think it's going to take a little bit longer, though. So you guys, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. God bless. And I'll see you in the next video.